Good morning, gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Always good to be with you. And this morning, I'm going to greet my friend Phoebe Francis first. I normally greet him second, I know. Phoebe, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Graham. Good morning, Mohammed. It is a wonderful morning here in Dubai. The cool weather, especially during this December time, is always pleasant and great to be with all of you.
Weather is beautiful in Dubai in December and January. Mohammed Shukri in Bahrain.
Hi, Phoebe and Graham, and everybody's watching from Manama, Bahrain, and the weather is here. I could say perfect.
Perfect. Well, that's a perfect response, which brings me to a question. Now that you've used the word perfect, is leadership or are leaders perfect? Oh,
I
yes,
mean,
I am.
yeah, everyone will answer immediately to this question
Well,
that
they start.
leaders are humans and humans are not perfect.
Yeah.
So why are you asking this question? We are not asking the question. We are saying that leaders seek perfection, don't they?
Well, yeah, let's explore that. I'll come back to that. Phoebe, what's your views on this?
Now, what do we mean by the word perfection? That is my first question. How do we each take what meaning making happens when we hear that word, and how we associate that word with the word leadership? And uh, my thought process is perfection can be a different thing for different people.
Yep.
Like each word. So maybe we may have to explore that part to further have the conversation going.
Yep. Well, I did this purposely. I didn't do the introduction today to this conversation, whether you are watching it on YouTube or listening to this as a podcast. I didn't do the introduction in the usual more perfect way. I was less than perfect. And I can see Muhammad is smiling right now because so he knows what I mean. So what I should be saying, but I didn't do it. I was lax. I was slack. I was not doing the right thing. I should be introducing each of us, even with just a few words. So I should be saying Graham Moore. I'm a certified master of the Leadership Challenge. The Leadership Challenge has been around a long time, and it is globally recognized as the most authoritative and effective leadership book ever produced. Well, it certainly was in the top five leadership books many years ago. And also, I then should say, Muhammad Shukri in Bahrain is a highly credentialed and well recognized speaker that is in a global context. And he has a background in health and safety. And he is a well regarded, highly regarded facilitator of learning. In fact, he's one of the best in the Middle East. He's not perfect. I must make that point. He's not perfect. And the other person I'm talking to, of course, as we always do, is Phoebe Francis, who is in giving the weather forecast to us from Dubai today. And he is, as is Mohammed, trained facilitator of the Leadership Challenge. So we have some credentials for what we're talking about, right? We didn't just make this up. We have credentials. Does it make us perfect? No, it doesn't. Does it give us some credibility? I hope it does. So, having said that, what is perfection and is perfection important? You are going to go down that path, I think, Vivi. What is
Yeah,
perfection?
Graham. So, from a perfection perspective, you should also highlight, Muhammad is also the author of the book One and the Only. So I think we missed that part. So we all,
That makes me imperfect because I didn't want to show off. All right. I didn't want to show off and just no, see, he's imperfect. He didn't get that one right, but I planned it that way.
Yeah. So what I mean I mean in this process is, we all try to achieve the better, like, so for example, this is like a phrase which I have heard, like, good practice is all about past practice, you know. So what is good in the future may not be yet to be there. So perfection is also like that. Perfection is what we try to achieve, and of course there can be flaws which comes in the process. And as we know, leadership is behaviors displayed in the process which we are in, and how it impact others. So, to the word perfection, what I mean by perfection is, as a leader, what can be better for the team to take forward towards the vision which we have. And here I like to link it with the uh, uh, concepts and principles shared by Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner. Are we modeling the way? What way are we modeling? Is it perfection, or is it imperfection?
I'm going to suggest right now that the book of the Leadership Challenge you just mentioned does not talk about perfect leadership. Doesn't exist. So it will not be in the book. And I will say that I did not scour every word to see whether I could make that claim or not, but I'll be almost sure that that's the case. One thing that I'm reminded of, Phoebe, when you talk about the saying that you shared with us, is a saying that's been around a long time, ever since I was a little boy, and I'm no longer a little boy. But this was around a long time ago, and I'm sure you are both aware of it, this saying. And the saying is, practice makes perfect. So does practice make perfect? No, it doesn't. Practice makes better practice. The more you practice, the better you come at the practice. But you're not going to get to perfection. So this, like a lot of sayings, they are not perfect. And that's one of them. It's that the sayings that we quote are flawed. But it sounded good for someone to say it at the time. And so we say practice makes perfect. What they're really saying is it is important to practice what you're doing. And that's one of the reasons why we talk about in Leadership Challenge the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. And in the English language, the word practice has a couple of meanings, and that's what is applied here. And I say in my workshops, what is a practice? And the answer should be, that's something that you do. Yes, it's something that you do. So the 5 practices of whether it's model the way where you're living your values, this is what you do when we're talking about enable others to act. We're enabling them. We are not being perfect about this, but we are enabling them. So these are practices that we should do regularly. And of course, the more regularly we do these things, the more effective and efficient we become. And it just flows along really, really well. Perfection, if we were really able to get perfect leadership, what sort of world would we live in, I wonder?
In fact, rather than wanting to break down what perfectionism is in leadership, I want to come to it from a different angle. What is the cost of being perfect or wanting to become perfect? There is a cost for that. And the cost is facts. Yes, facts. You want to be perfect. Guess what? Everyone else wants to be perfect. So imagine a meeting where everybody is polished, perfect, nothing goes wrong, and everybody's on the high alert that nothing spills out, whether it's a vocal or it's a behavior. What do you get? A fake, organization, a fake team. And by time, everybody's afraid to say anything that is, wrong. So it's like me or anyone growing up in a house where it's like semi-military. No one, you come in the hall and everybody on the meal has to be really perfect. You don't say anything wrong, behave, only to find out after years that your son wasn't the one who you thought he was. So it's not really in our book, The Leadership Challenge, it's not that there is no mention of perfection, perfect leaders. In fact, it's the opposite. The top quality of leaders is what? It's honest, right? Honesty comes number one in the top four qualities admired by people and leaders. And what is honesty? Honesty is not your words, it's who you are. People like to work with leaders who are honest, transparent, etc. So,
Flawed,
yeah.
flawed. I insert that word there. They like to work with people who are like that, but also that their leaders are flawed, which means that they can make mistakes, right? I know I've interrupted your flow of thought, and I apologize,
No,
but I
no,
want to
I'm that. I was that. Yeah.
come back to what you alluded to much earlier about everybody wanting to be perfect. What does that likely lead to? Stress. They're going to come out of that meeting. I wasn't perfect. I missed saying this word this way at this time. Oh my gosh. Well, obviously that's that's a bit of an exaggeration, but people can become self-critical because they haven't reached the levels that they aspire to and think, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I have not become perfect. I'm a failure. I'm going to go away and bury my head in the sand. You can do that a lot if you live in the Middle East. But perfectionism is not what we want. Perfectionism is going to create issues of mental issues. I'm sure, but we're not after that. We want people to be always striving to be the best they can be, not perfect. Vivi.
Yeah, this brought a thought in me. Perfection can inspire us or imprison us.
Oh,
It depends on what lens we are using.
you
And
could become slave to that idea of perfectionism.
yeah, yeah. And again, from the leadership challenge, Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner reminds us that leadership is a practice, and it is every day we reinvent ourselves. So and that has to be kept in mind. And quite often, there are many people who hold on to the myth of perfection. And the thought process is leaders are often expected to have all the answers, never doubt themselves, and always deliver flawlessly. And, that is a myth.
One of the self-coaching statements which we use in the Leadership Challenge is the leader to ask at the end of every day, what can I do better tomorrow than I did today? How can I improve on what I did today for tomorrow? Not, oh my gosh, I failed because I wasn't perfect. No. We're looking for you to become better at what you do. We are flawed by nature. Human beings are flawed. We should be that. We make mistakes. And in each of the faiths that are represented in this call now, I'm pretty sure that there is no reference in any of the religious works that are written and presented that say we must be perfect. Perfection is a myth. Now, there are some things that we want to, when I'm on an airline flight and everything goes smoothly and we land on time and we get out and my luggage is waiting for me, I could say, wow, that was perfect. Well, the flight crew might have had some little issues, but to me it seemed perfect. We landed happily in one piece and maybe even a little earlier, exactly on time. That would be perfect. So we often ascribe or indicate things in our lives that may have been perfect, but they may not necessarily have been, to use that word again, perfect. I want leaders to aspire to be the best they can be and to always be checking in, not only with themselves, but with others, for the leaders to say to their team, what is it that I do that might affect your performance? What is it that I do that affects your performance? But you're perfect. No, I'm not perfect. What is it that I do? I might not know something that I've done to you that has not been so happy sitting with you. Oh, well, actually, yesterday you did this and this. Oh, okay, great. Thanks very much. I won't do it again. That sort of thing. We are learning leadership all the time. I am yet to meet, and I actually don't want to meet, a perfect leader. Phoebe, I think I cut you off.
No, you are trying to bring that perspective, and I think what I just want to highlight is, what if we replace that perfection or the word perfect with practicing excellence? And as you rightly said, what can we do better next day or tomorrow? And that is where that process of continuous improvement comes in.
Yeah, so specifically, and you're really very good at nominating or identifying the 5 practices. Number 3, what do we say in the third practice? What do we say?
Challenge the process.
What can we do better? We don't say the word perfect is never used. But when with the third practice, which is challenge the process, we will be saying, if we're to do that again, how could we do it better? We do not say, if we're to do it again, will it be perfect because of what we've learned? Nope. We're looking to do it better than what we've done. Yes. Mohammed, you've gone.
In fact, I would say that teams and leaders who admit imperfection and make peace with it, they improve better and faster. Imagine this: if everybody wants to be perfect and nothing goes wrong, they will be just stagnant and not open to improvements because it's that freezing status of, okay, let's keep it that way, let's not make any mistake. But when you create a safe space, everyone is open to imperfection and okay with it. Guess what happens? Everybody is also open to improving transparently and open to ideas that make them better when they admit imperfection. And that's why, if we speak about a little bit about religion, since you mentioned the sacred books, admitting to sins actually is not downgrading someone; it's actually upgrading you. And no one can improve without admitting the mistake at one stage, then moving on. So it's a very good practice, whether it's religious or professional or even parenting, admitting mistakes, even with your spouse in a relationship, etc. It's debatable which spouse admits mistakes more, but that's beside the issue. Anyway.
I made mistakes in my marriage. I'll admit that. I made them big time. Oh, that's
so you get the point, no? Yeah.
Learned a lot. I learned so much. But there are a couple of points about what you said. If a leader in a particular process which has been done deems that process, the way we've done it, to be perfect, someone says, but I've got no, it's perfect. What is he doing right then? Is another word in English that's fairly strong, and it's not a very polite, well, it's not a complimentary word. He is arrogant, right? If he says, no, we've got it perfect now, we're going to leave it that every time we do it, that's the way it will be done. It's perfect. What is he missing out on? He's missing out on the ideas of someone in the team who may have another idea about doing this process that could save the company a lot of money. But sometimes leaders, managers become arrogant and believe that they are perfect, perhaps. They must say, well, I'm not really perfect, but they want things done a particular way because they believe that's the only way and it's close to perfection. That's arrogant, and they're missing out on huge opportunities, certainly because they're not listening to other people's input. They have just proclaimed that what we are doing is perfect. Don't change a thing. That's my piece. I've said it. And I think it's perfect. Maybe laugh louder at that. Come on, it was funny.
I'm thinking, perfection as a word sometimes get dangerous, as Muhammad already highlighted. It builds walls. and not bridges. So, you know, and quite sometimes, in our work life, we might have met leaders terrified of showing uncertainty. And and we can also see those teams also ending up stagnant because they start to mirror what the leader is displaying. And I also don't want to display uncertainty, and that becomes a challenge in the workplace because the culture of showing perfection becomes the dance in the floor. So,
Yeah.
what we have seen, but in other words, is, in creative teams, uh, where we have seen, okay, let us improve on this one.
Yeah.
Let us work on, okay, this challenge is, what can we do to reduce this challenge which we are having? And I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, and that person was highlighting this example in the workplace. They have an IT system, and this IT system have capabilities, but when it was raised to the department head to look into, because we can have these features and it will reduce the workload and it will enable the streamlining, the person said we can do that, but later on, someone in the department want, okay, let us not do that, because let people do as in the old practice with Excel instead of using the software. And this is another mentality where, for example, are we helping our people in the process, or do we want to make sure that whether people should suffer because I had done it in this form in the past? So these kind of practices comes in, and we can see that one aspect which people have to, especially position people in the positions of power, has to understand is, imperfection humanizes leadership.
So the leader's got to admit and not claim that. I have a quote. It can go on the daily calendar. So this is the quote. Claims of perfection are the first steps to arrogance. Or put another way, claims to perfection are the first steps to failure. If we claim
What
something, sorry?
I mean, what a beautiful imperfect quote.
Yeah, thank you. Because we obviously you considered it, and that's why you said that. But if we claim something is
Yeah,
perfect, it
yeah.
means we are not looking at possible flaws or inconsistencies or anything. We just said it's perfect. Don't touch it. It's perfect. Leave it as it is. That's the first step to.
I mean, leaders, they can relieve themselves of the perfect need for perfection with the very simple, plain fact that all organizations, including his or her,
Yeah.
adopt procedures, standards, and strategies to disclose, let me say, imperfection, uncover imperfection. What are audits doing then? Why
Yeah.
do we do audits? Why do we do reviews? Why do we do all these inspections? These are, basic fact on an organizational level that we are actually looking for imperfection. Why would you, as a leader, be an exception? All right. And I'm reminded by our own leadership challenge, system, which is the LPI, um, leadership practices inventory. It's a very robust yet subtle. It's not, exposing the leader, and the whole things. And it shows areas only to you as a leader where exactly you need to improve, which is,
Yes.
and the leaders all the way, all the leaders who've done the LPI were actually happy and pleased, yet no matter how much shocked they were, but actually it shows where they can improve.
Yes.
So it is there in the organization on its personal level or on organizational level.
Yeah. So we should not be aspiring to perfection. We should be maintaining ongoing improvement. And we know that the Japanese developed that and had a word for that, an expression for it. And they patented it almost, that particular process, always looking for improvement. We're not looking for perfection. We don't need or want perfection. We should be aiming for it. I do. I want perfection. I know that. But
Yes.
yes. So, and look, you touched on, and we don't like to engage in religious studies in our in our workshops, in our conversations. But I would just to support what you said about what was in the example you gave about what's in the holy books. I don't believe there is any. It isn't dangerous, but I don't think that the religious people who feature the most in those religious works, I don't know, they claim perfection, do they?
No. No.
Oh, what? Why am I following this person if he doesn't claim perfection? No, he doesn't. I'm glad you agree with me. Gentlemen, let's perfectly finish this by having a summation in a couple of seconds by Bibby, then Ahmed, and then I'll click the off button and wish everybody a good week ahead. Bibby, what do you have to say?
Yeah, what perfect leadership truly is, the courage to keep improving,
Yeah.
even when no one is watching.
Yes, absolutely. Mohammed.
I would say, picking on your last words about Japanese, there is a Japanese actually concept which is called wabi sabi. If you know wabi sabi, the beauty of imperfection, and they physically resemble this. Of course, you saw so many posts about this in articles. They resemble this in broken jars where when they put them back together, or vases, all right? And they say it's beautiful as it is, okay, even if it's broken. And thus, we want to say that it's the beauty of humans to be vulnerable. We are vulnerable. We are actually imperfect. And that's what makes us beautiful. And that's what makes your organization, your team, and more acceptable to the ideas you want to bring. So there you go.
And we always say, what can we do to make it better? Always wanting to be not perfect. Gentlemen, I thank you once again for your words of wise wisdom, and I look forward, and I'm sure others who are listening to us now will be looking forward to joining us and as we are together again next week. And I wish you both a very good and successful week ahead. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Steve.